Welcome to the Sales Podcast, session 68, From Fat Kid to Fat Cat. Welcome to the 68th edition of the Sales Podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host. Today we've got Miss Mara Glazer, home of the Cut the Crap and Profit Now marketing consulting business. She has a great story where she talks about it, and you can see it on her website. She described herself as a dorky, overweight kid in junior high and high school. She actually changed schools, went to a boarding school, things turned around, and has built a thriving business. And she is not overweight or dorky. And by the ripe old age of 28, 29 years old, she has built a great business, and you will enjoy hearing her story. So, in line with the Cut the Crap message today, I've got a couple of Stephen Wright one-liners. You know, he did always kind of cut through the stuff and made you think. One of them he talked about is, if it's true that we are here to help others, then what exactly are the others here for? Kind of makes you think, huh? And then, you know, as a former weatherman, I don't know, are you ever a former weatherman? I think I will always be a meteorologist. I've got a degree hanging on my wall. So, all right, as a current meteorology degree holder, but not a practitioner, you know, what would the speed of lightning be if it didn't zigzag? So a couple things to make you ponder. So now, before we get into the actual interview, let's bring up the Sales Podcast Creed, which is, today is my day. I work diligently towards my goals, which are bigger than me. I bite off more than I can chew, because only then will I truly know my current limits, and surpassing them becomes my new goal for today. Through education, accountability partners, and bold, decisive action, today will be better than yesterday, and tomorrow will be better yet. I'm ready to produce. As we produced this podcast, Mara had a little issue with her internet connection, so we did it on a conference call line. So you'll be able to tell that the quality is a little bit lower as far as the recording actual sound, but still great content, and I don't think you'll find it too distracting. So here's Mara Glazer.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mara Glazer, Cut the Crap Business Coach. Is that really you?
That's really me.
I love it. You got your haughty hands on your hips on your website. I love it. But for those that are not familiar with you, would you mind taking a minute or two and tell the world a little snapshot of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Mara Glazer. I am the Cut the Crap Business Coach. I work with entrepreneurs to tell them what they need to do and what works to build a profitable business, and not just what's easy and what they want to hear. And I also work with entrepreneurs through my done-for-you virtual assistant and social media management agency called Best Damn Biz Team, really pulling from all of my expertise of generating over an additional 7 figures in less than 278 days from social media for Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle, the company I worked at with my father for about 3 years a little while back. So that's a little snapshot of me.
Very cool. I love it because I'm like you. I mean, Dan Kennedy's got the professor of harsh reality, so maybe I'm the instructor of harsh reality. I don't know, but there's so many people out there promoting hype, right? Oh, just create a YouTube channel and you'll be rich. You know, just get a good Twitter feed and you'll be rich. It's like, come on. It is not that easy. You know, for everybody we see out there that maybe did build a big list on Twitter and made $1 million, there's like 17 million others that haven't made a nickel, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So how do you? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, yeah, I'll let you ask the question. I apologize.
No, you're the guest, so elaborate.
I was going to say, most people don't have a plan, and they don't know how to make these tools work for them. And I think that when it comes to social media, there's really two big misconceptions that are hurting a lot of entrepreneurs who want to have success with social media. The first misconception is that social media is free. It is not free. Especially these days, you have to invest money in social media advertising, Facebook advertising. Now you can do Twitter advertising. There's even LinkedIn advertising. I think Pinterest is even moving that route. And those platforms have really set themselves up so that if you want to have any success, you have to put some skin in the game and you have to invest money in ad spend. And it really comes down to paying to play. And if you're not willing to do that, at this point, social media probably isn't even the right fit for you. And if you were going to overlook social media because you don't want to pay to play, that's just dumb. You probably should not do that. It's definitely worth it, especially if you have a plan. The second thing is people think that they can spend 5 minutes a day on Twitter or 5 minutes a day on Facebook and really have a proper strategy in place that's going to get them results, and that's not true. What you need, again, is a plan that works to generate revenue, and you've got to work that plan. And while you can do maintenance here and there for 10 minutes a day here, 10 minutes a day there, the truth is that you need to set some time aside to implement your plan, implement your strategy, just like anything else in your business. And if you need to hire a social media manager to do that because you need to take that off your plate because you're already busy, then that's just what you have to do. So those are the two biggest reasons why most people aren't having success with social media. And there's other ones as well. You know, they listen to these self-proclaimed social media gurus who haven't made any money with social media. They implement what they're told, and of course it doesn't work because who they're learning from hasn't had any success, hasn't made any money, and they swear off social media for good. A lot of entrepreneurs don't track their results from social media, and because they're not tracking their results, they're not seeing any money in the bank, so they think it's not working. They swear off social media for good. And also, a lot of people listen to, like, their other business owner buddies. Maybe they meet them at networking events or other events, or maybe they're just in the community. They try to figure this stuff out on their own. It doesn't work, so they swear off social media for good. So I think some of the biggest lessons here are to have somebody who understands how to make money with social media, that's proven to do it, not just says that they've done it, that's proven to do it, help you create that plan, understand that you're going to have to invest money, time, and resources in implementing that plan and be okay with it, and you're going to then most likely have success. So a lot of people just half-ass it and cut the crap and stop doing that.
So what is a social media manager going to do for somebody? I mean, I'm considering it, but it's like, how do they speak for you? Do you meet once a month, once a week, go over things? I mean, does the business owner approve what they put out before it's published? You know, because the worst thing in my mind, at least from myself, is to have somebody out there acting like they're me, putting things out that really aren't me, and lose that authentic voice that I've created over 8 years.
Right. So if you're looking to hire a social media manager, there's definitely some things you should keep in mind. So the first thing is your social media manager should also be creating the strategy for all of your social media marketing efforts. And if you are looking at hiring somebody to run your social media for you and they can't do that, then they are not the right fit for you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you want to find a social media manager who is very good at speaking in your own voice, and that is not easy to find, and it will probably take you a couple tries to find that person. At my virtual assistant business, the Best Damn Biz team, we've got a great team of social media managers who are very good at that. But you want to find somebody who can speak in your own voice. And as an entrepreneur, you need to trust them. Being on the other side of the game, being the owner of a company that has a team of social media managers, the one thing that really holds us back is having to have everything approved by the business owner. It keeps us from moving forward. It keeps us from implementing the plan. It keeps us from getting results. So it's very beneficial for both of us. It's a win-win for both of us if, as the entrepreneur, you can trust your social media manager to be able to speak in your voice, to get your message out there in a bigger way, to get your promotions out there, and that is going to be very beneficial to the success that you have with social media. Now, that being said, it takes good communication between you as an entrepreneur and your social media manager. So, for example, you want to be in constant communication with them. You want to have at least a monthly meeting, if not be talking more than that. You want to make sure that your social media manager has access to your marketing calendar or any copy that you're using to send out to your list so that they can pull from that, which is something that will allow your social media manager to really be able to speak in your voice. And the third thing is that you also want to make sure that you are logging into your social media daily and are interacting with people and are being present. And if you are using a social media manager to implement the most of your strategy, then that's when you're going to find yourself at that point when you can spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day on your social media because you have somebody else doing the hard work.
So this social media manager, should they also be good at PPC? Are they managing your paid social media marketing as well?
If you're going to do paid social media marketing, which I highly recommend, you should really work with somebody else who is more specialized in media buys and Facebook advertising and social media paid advertising. There's companies out there that do various things. And what I would recommend is if you are going to look to hire somebody to do your Facebook advertising for you and your social media advertising for you, it is not necessarily important for them to have a lot of experience with Google advertising or any other of the search engine advertising. I would look for somebody specifically really good at Facebook ads. Just to give you an example, like at our agency, we don't do Google advertising. We only specifically focus on Facebook advertising, and we're damn good at it because that's our number one focus. So you want to make sure that if you do hire a social media manager, chances are they probably are not good at Facebook advertising. You want to have somebody who's specifically good at Facebook advertising. At our agency, we have social media managers and we have people who are good at Facebook advertising. And if you are going to hire somebody to do it, you want to make sure that you really are working with somebody who has proven results in whatever it is that they're going to do for you. And that means having two people work on your social media, one your regular social media management and one your pay advertising, then that's what you want to do. One of the biggest lessons my father taught me is that when you're hiring, you want to make sure that you're hiring somebody that has proven success and a proven track record doing what it is that you want to have done. You don't want to waste your time training somebody because chances are if you are looking to hire somebody, it's because you need more help and you're already overwhelmed and you're overworked. So that's the case here as well. Find somebody to manage your social media pages for you and find somebody else who really understands paid advertising to do that for you too. If you happen to find one of the rare people who's good at both, that's great, but it's probably really hard to find. Being a company that hires Facebook advertising managers all the time, I'll tell you that hiring one is very hard to find. We go through a lot of them before we find one that sticks with us because we don't settle for ones that aren't good enough.
Right. You talked about having a marketing calendar. Do you find when you bring up that term, most people's eyes glaze over and they go, marketing what?
Well, if you're an entrepreneur and you don't have a marketing calendar or a marketing plan, then you're probably not very successful. So if that's the case, I highly recommend that you get one in place right away. That should probably be your first action step leaving this interview, is to create that plan. If you don't know how to create that plan, that's when a marketing coach, a marketing consultant would really be the right fit for you. Every single entrepreneur I know that does not have a marketing plan, honestly, is broke. So what I would recommend is starting with a 3-month marketing plan, especially as you're getting used to the process. I find that a lot of entrepreneurs, especially the newer ones, and there's probably a different mix of people on this call, new entrepreneurs and more seasoned entrepreneurs, but you make a lot of pivots and you make a lot of shifts in your business. So by the time you get to month 4 of your marketing plan, a lot of things have changed. So for my clients, even I recommend to them create a 3-month marketing plan and then constantly be recreating that marketing plan every 3 months. And to be honest with you, I've only been in business, my coaching business, I've only been in business for about a year and a half. I took some time off when I left Glazer Kennedy, and so I still do a 3-month marketing plan. I don't really look that much further out than 3 months unless it revolves around a live event, which takes a lot of planning. And, my Facebook advertising agency, actually how that came about, I don't know if you know this, is when I left Glazer Kennedy, I needed to make money. So I started running Facebook ads for people based upon my experience at Glazer Kennedy, and just recently merged that with one of my clients' virtual assistant companies. And so we still work on a 3-month marketing plan. And if you want to do that for several years, then that's totally fine. That's totally fine. It works really well for us. So start with a 3-month marketing plan. Figure out what it is that you're going to promote every month and the steps that are involved. I recommend to my clients that if they do not have baseline income and reoccurring revenue coming in every month that covers their bills and more, that is the first thing that you want to focus on in your marketing plan. How can you launch a coaching program, consulting program, a service-based type of offering to be able to have a really great consistent income coming in every single month? And once you get that in place, then you can look at doing a monthly type of launch, which is like bonus money, as I like to think of it. It's just that additional revenue that's coming in as you build and as you scale. And another thing that wants to be added to your marketing plan is list building. You want to be constantly building your list, generating new leads for your company. And there's ways that you can do it actively, and there's ways that you can do it passively, and you should always have passive list building strategies in place in your business. So, for example, if you have a lead magnet set up online, like a free report or something like that, and driving Facebook ads to it on a constant and consistent basis, or driving Google ads to that on a constant and consistent basis, something that's running all the time, that's allowing you to generate new leads, but that you're not always actively working on it. And to be honest, you should be hiring somebody to do that for you anyway. Other great ways to build your client database or generate more leads is sponsoring events, which is more of an active type of list generation, doing a telesummit, which is an online virtual event. That is very effective as well. Most entrepreneurs that do that generate about 1,000 new leads in their business in 2 weeks. Some do less, some do more. I have a client who adds 500,000 leads to his list every single year during his telesummit. He's a Facebook advertising client of ours. So on average, I see it's about 1,000. And for most small business owners, adding 1,000 new leads into their business in 2 weeks is just absolutely life-changing.
Well, it is, as long as they have a follow-up sequence in place.
Yes, absolutely correct. 100%. Yeah, if you just add them to your list and don't do anything with it, then you might as well just stay in bed and not do anything. It's worthless at that point.
So what are some things, speaking to both new people, and even, I just got a call today from a guy. He's been in business since 2003. He has a home cleaning business. It was doing very well. 2008 hit, and, everything changed. Certainly being in Phoenix, it was very driven by real estate and the housing boom. So he's still around. But he admits he's struggling, he's ambitious, he wants to grow. So he's not a beginner insofar as owning his business, but he is a beginner when it comes to reinventing and reinvigorating his business. So, for both of those types of people, what are some things they need to put on this marketing calendar? Is it an email newsletter? Is it a printed newsletter? Is it paid advertising? All the above. What are some nuggets they must do regardless of the age of their business?
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. So it would mostly be all of the above of what you just said. I prefer email newsletters. You know, my father is a big fan of direct mail newsletters, and I know that they work because I've seen the results. From not only our efforts at Glazer Kennedy when we were working together, but from client efforts, what have you. But probably because of my generation and the generation gap between me and my father, I like email newsletters better. And the number one most important reason why you would want to do an email newsletter is to stay at the top of mind of all of your customers and all of your clients, or even prospects who maybe you've had a conversation with in the past or that are on your email list, but never really taken that next step yet to move forward with working with you. So doing an email newsletter is very beneficial to your business. Now, I used to recommend doing a weekly email newsletter, and that's what I do in my coaching company. In my virtual assistant business, we do it biweekly. And to be honest with you, it just comes down to being consistent. I wouldn't do it any less than biweekly. I think that doing a monthly newsletter probably is not very effective, considering the point is that you want to stay at the top of the minds of all of your clients, customers, and prospects. You want to make sure that your strategy is effectively doing that. Now, an email newsletter is also really good with building relationships. So in most email newsletters, there's usually a letter from the owner, and people like to buy from people they know, like, and trust. People like to buy from people that they feel connected to. And so by including that little letter in every email newsletter that you send out, that's going to start to build that relationship with your client list. It's also a really great opportunity to offer specials and promotions or promote different, maybe you have an event coming up, whatever that is. That's a really great way to utilize your email newsletter to make additional sales and really amplify your marketing message. So email newsletter is definitely a great thing to do. It's not very expensive to do at all and is very effective and has a high impact. Paid advertising, especially in terms of Facebook ads. Facebook ads is more my thing. I don't do Google ads. I know a lot of people do, have a lot of success. It's just never been something that I ventured into. So Facebook advertising, if it's the right fit for your business, hands down, I would recommend that you start doing it now, because what you're going to see is right now we can get leads for dirt cheap. Like I'm talking like 90 cents to about $2.50 per lead. Most people who are using pay-per-click, Google pay-per-click, are spending a lot more. And I think that with Facebook ads, as the Facebook advertising platform evolves and has been around for longer, we're going to see those prices go up and up and up and up. So we should take advantage of it now while the lead costs are so low. Most people that I meet that create their own Facebook ads, that don't have an outside team do their Facebook ads for them, end up spending between $6 all the way up to, I've seen people spend like $210 per lead on Facebook, which is ridiculous. So if you're thinking about doing Facebook ads, my recommendation to you would be to hire somebody to do it for you. You might not want to outsource it at the beginning because you don't want to pay the maintenance fee, but to be honest, you're going to save a lot of money in the long run from the lead cost that you're saving on. So paid advertising, 100%, you should definitely be looking at. And the third thing really is creating an automated funnel for your new leads to go through to convert them into a client or a customer. And there's really great tools out there now to be able to do that. So like my favorite tool, hands down, 100%, is Infusionsoft. It really allows for you to create an automated marketing sequence. There are other ones out there. There's Entreport, there's Aweber. My favorite is Infusionsoft, hands down. I wouldn't have been able to build my business as fast as I could without it. But what I would say to you when you create your automated sales funnel, so people would opt into a lead magnet, and then you would start to send them automated communications to...
Hey, we know what you mean.
Thank you. To get them to take action. You want to also add in different forms of media to really amplify your results. So, for example, you don't just want to do email. You want to do calls. On our team, like I have a woman who works for me. Her whole job for me is to do calls for people, to get them to sign up for my event, to get them to sign up for a sales call with us, to get them, to remind them to show up to a webinar. So you want to make sure that you're implementing actual live human calls in the sequence. You can also do automated calls, so those are called voice broadcasts. You can add direct mail into the sequence, and you want to make sure that you're really adding as many media touch points as you possibly can to make it more effective. Besides email, the number one most effective thing that you can add into your funnel is live human calls, or having somebody on your team actually physically pick up the phone and call somebody and start the process.
Stop the presses. Human interaction? Oh my gosh, we have to end this now. I thought you were the cut the crap. I thought this was all online and spend a few dollars and go to Costa Rica. We have to talk to people.
It doesn't work that way. You get to talk to people. Yeah. And, most entrepreneurs that come to me, by the way, that are struggling, that's usually the area that they're avoiding, is that they're afraid to pick up the phone. They're hiding behind the safety net of Facebook. And, my clients, if they work with me, they have to cut the crap and get on the phone, even if they don't want to, or we won't get along. And to be honest with you, it was one of the hardest things for me, because when I was at Glazer Kennedy, everything I did was behind the computer, because we had a call team, and I had to learn that process. I had to learn how to have sales conversations. I had to get comfortable picking up the phone. So if you're in that spot right now, I totally get it. I totally sympathize with you. My first 50 sales conversations, I totally screwed up. I didn't close any of them. And I had to get the training, and I had to get, the mentorship to be able to learn how to do it. And there's a lot of things you can invest in your business, right? You can have a coach, you can hire somebody to do your Facebook ads for you, you can hire a virtual assistant, you can hire an employee. But one of the top things that you should be investing in is sales training, because if you can't sell, you can't make money. So,
okay.
If you
say that again. Say it slowly.
One of the number one things you should be investing in your business is sales training, because
okay, the clouds are parting, angels are coming down from on high, and they're pointing to the 30daysalesgrowth.com. But okay, back to our regular paid program, already in progress.
So that's it. I mean, you got to learn how to sell. It's something I wish that I learned sooner when I first got started. It's something that I wish that I learned sooner. And there's, you can learn how to sell on the phone. You can learn how to sell from stage. You can learn how to sell on webinar. The first thing you should learn is how to sell on the phone or face to face. And then from there, you can expand your trainings from selling on webinars, selling on the stage. If you can't close over the phone or face-to-face, you're in trouble.
Do you think after those 50 calls and you got better at selling, did that help you become a better marketer?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Because what happened on those phone calls, and what still happens when I do sales, is I learn a lot more about who is attracted to me, my target market, my ideal clients, their biggest pain points, their objections, what they need, what they don't need, what they think they need, which usually isn't what they really need. And it allows for you to learn who it is you're talking to and better create your marketing to speak to those people that you want to work with and that you want to attract in your business. So 100%. Hands down.
All right, I want to go all the way back to talking about an email newsletter. And I'm sure you hear this every day. I hear it all the time. People are like, I'm not a good writer. I don't know what to say. How can I do this? I mean, what does the Cut the Crap coach tell somebody that is whining like that?
Either one, just cut the crap and get over it and just do it. Chances are if you sit there in front of a piece of paper or a blank computer screen for an hour, you'll come up with something halfway decent that you can send out. Or two, hire somebody to do it for you. Hire an article writer or hire a virtual assistant that has a really great background in creating articles and content for people, and just have them do it for you. To be honest, some of the best use of your time is I'd rather you spend your time, getting more sales calls, actually having sales conversations, and having somebody else write your e-zine for you. It's definitely a better use of your time. If you're just getting started and your budget is kind of low, then of course that's probably one of the things that you're going to want to do yourself. Just cut the crap and do it and get over it. There's probably a bigger fear thing going on there. It's probably either afraid that you're not good enough or afraid of what people might say about you or think about you. Get over it, because what's going to happen is when you start to send out these email newsletters, whether or not you mean to or not, no matter what niche you're in, you're going to end up connecting with people, making a difference in their lives, making people smile, giving somebody a tip that changes the game of their business or helps them transform their lives. And when you focus on that, then none of the negative comments that you could receive or none of the negative thoughts that people might have about you even matter. Just focus on really inspiring other people, helping them with your message, and forget about what they're going to say about you or think about you, and just get over the fact that you're not good enough. That's not going to serve you in your business at all. So you just got to cut the crap and get over it. Like I know that there's people out there, mindset coaches, et cetera, that deal with these things on a specific basis and have all these tools and techniques, and that is not me. I'm not qualified to do that. And I have a similar story, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but when I was growing up, I was very overweight, I was very dorky looking, and I got picked on a lot, not just by the kids, but by the teachers in my school. And they told me that I did not have the skills to be successful, and I was never going to amount to anything. And they actually told me I should leave the school and look for a new one because they'd given up on me, which is an absolute true story. And so when I first
at what age was this?
That was starting in about sixth grade through about 10th grade. I dealt with all of that. And then so when I started my business, all of those feelings came up for me. And the number one thing that helped me was hiring a mentor who believed in me when I couldn't believe in me and could push me forward and get me moving toward the point where I was having momentum and creating momentum on my own and having success, and that I could start believing in myself. And so I cut the crap and I hired a mentor who could do that for me so that I could just move forward and finally get it done. And now I pull from my successes and my clients' successes. I don't have that problem anymore. So there are people that can help you with that. And a coach can help you with that too, because they can keep pushing you forward and get you to experience your own big wins so that you don't have to feel that way anymore. But yeah, that is what happened for me. If you go on my website and go to the About Us page or the About page, you can see my picture from when I was growing up. And you can see, maybe it would be a little more understandable as to why some of these kids made fun of me.
That's a nice plaid shirt you've got there, buttoned up to the neck.
Oh, yeah, my Nintendo brand glasses. Very, very cool. My bowl cut. I think I have almost a bowl cut haircut. That's how I would.
1997, man, you're still a youngin'.
I am almost 29.
Very
I'm
cool.
Old. I am getting old.
Now you're looking forward to your reunions. You'll be the one that goes back and people will go, I should have been nicer tomorrow when she was in school.
You know what? I ended up transferring school. So I ended up going to a boarding school for the last 2 years of high school and graduated with a class of about 24 people. Very different environment. And they don't do reunions there. But it's so funny because I'll be out here in Baltimore sometimes, and I'll run into people from middle school, that school that I went to, and they don't even recognize me, and their jaw just drops to the floor. And then when they see what I'm doing, and they hear about what I'm doing and what I'm up to, and they're all miserable in their 9-to-5 day jobs, it's a big wake-up call for all of them. So I've definitely transformed myself, and it's fun sometimes to run into people from the past, that's for sure.
So see, that's just not right. See, your dad should have owned a woman's wear clothing store, and then your whole life would be different.
Right, that's right. That is 100% true. Yeah.
Oh, that is fantastic. So, all right, I'm looking at your site, and I noticed something interesting here. You're not one of those crazy people that leads off with all your social media stuff and drives your hard-earned traffic, sending them away. It's fantastic. Can you talk to us about that strategy of leaving social media off, or at least making it hard to find you from your site?
Yeah, I'm not sure I actually understand the question. Can you just repeat that once more?
Yeah, so most people, you get to the website, and right at the very top right are all these big social media links. So it's like traffic came to your site, and like you have it right there at the top. Download your complimentary training course. So I mean, you're getting opt-ins right away. And I'm looking all over your site. I don't see any social media links to follow you on Facebook or Twitter. So it seems like you're really focused on driving that traffic into your funnel, and then later connecting with them on social media.
Yeah, correct, 100% correct. So if you start to dig around a little bit, and there's some pages that do have those logos on them, but 100% I want to get people into my lead funnel and start making offers to them, start communicating to them, or getting them on a strategy call right away for people who are ready for that. So that's my number one focus. When it comes to social media in general, you want to use social media to add people to your lead funnel. That's the whole point of social media as an entrepreneur. You can use it to build your brand. You can use it to build relationship, and those things are important. But if you're not going to use it to capture new leads and put them into an automated sales process and get them to take action and be constantly and consistently marketing to them, then you shouldn't be using social media anyway. So hands down, 100%, when you come to my website, I either want you to sign up for one of my lead magnets, or sign up and raise your hand to say that you would like to have a strategy call with me. If you go to my site, maraglazer.com, you'll see on the bottom right-hand corner, and this is one of my most favorite and easy-to-do strategies to get new clients. We have a pop-up that says powered by Visita, and it says let's chat. If I can help you grow your business in any way, please provide your contact details, and myself or one of my expert business coaches will get back to you shortly. So we have people fill this out. We have a couple people fill it out every week. And sometimes they're not right for us right away. Sometimes people just have random questions. But every once in a while, we get a really good prospect who really wants to have a very good conversation with us about moving forward. In fact, we just closed a deal from this pop-up box that was worth $24,000 to our company. It's a coaching client of ours. She signed up for private coaching with me, so that's a $24,000 package. And she came from that pop-up box. So I'd highly recommend to anybody that they add this to their website. It's totally free to do. There is an upgrade option with this provider, Visita. By the way, I'm not an affiliate of theirs. I just think that this is like absolutely the most genius, easy-to-use software ever. They do have an upgrade option. I haven't found the need to upgrade. It works just fine without it. They probably would not like that I've said that, but it's absolutely true. So if you can add that to your site, you'll start to get people who say they're interested in working with you, or they need help with X, Y, and Z, whatever it is you help people with, and you can get on the phone with them and have a sales conversation with them, and it works really, really well. Within the first day of adding this to my website, which is a while ago, but within the first day of adding it, I had somebody fill it out, and they closed her into a group coaching program. So this thing works. I wouldn't use it as I wouldn't rely on this to get all of your clients, but, if you even just close like 5 high-ticket clients a year from that, it's going to be totally worth it, right? So I would recommend you get that on your site.
Have
you don't have it already.
Have you experimented with other types of pop-ups? I notice you don't have pop-ups right now.
Yeah, we actually do. There's another pop-up on the site that should pop up for my enroll 3 new clients or more in 30 days training. We use pop-up domination for that. So that pops up as well. Yeah, you should have gotten that one. Maybe you were on my site earlier today, or I'm not really sure.
Okay. Well, yeah, I may have just closed it quickly because I was looking for other stuff. Okay, so you are using pop-ups. Cool. And those, we always bring it up. I mean, a lot of us don't like to see it as consumers, but as business owners, I mean, they work, right?
Yeah, 100%. It totally works. And if you get complaints about it, we just ignore them. Like, it works. We get leads from it. We get sales from it. And just cut the crap and leave the thing up on your website. I have one client that gets 500 opt-ins a month from her pop-up, and she doesn't do anything to get traffic there. She just has, just regular search engine traffic. She's adding 500 people a month to her funnel.
Good grief.
So, yeah, it was pretty badass. Especially if you're not doing anything,
How do you get this great press? Huffington Post, the Mogul Mom, Ladies Who Launch. Was that a concerted, focused effort to do that, or were you lucky and got found? I mean, how can we replicate that?
That's a very good question. I can actually get that for you. So we offer a service where we connect you with an article writer, and our article writer writes a short 400 to 800 word article about you, and then we have some connections to be able to get those articles syndicated on the websites for ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. So you can now use those logos in all of your marketing wherever you want to use them. And you also will have the links to use for proof if anybody ever asks, which nobody ever will. And that's exactly how you can make that happen. That's the easiest way to do it, to be honest. Cool. And the truth is you are getting featured on those websites. You're just taking an easier path.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I guess if somebody's interested in that, can I give them our email for them to contact us? Would that be cool?
Oh, absolutely. And I'll put it in the show notes too. But yeah, what is it? Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, if you're interested in that and want to get featured on those websites, you can just email support@maraglazer.com, and we can hook you up with that for sure.
That's MARAGLAZER, maraglazer.com.
Yep. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, where?
We do it.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say we do it for dirt cheap, too. We do it for $297. So it's almost like a no-brainer.
Dirt cheap. All right. Well, keep it dirt cheap until I pay you, all right? Then raise your prices, and I'll be an affiliate of it.
Okay.
So where can people find you? We got your website, maraglazer.com. Are you active yourself on social media? Is that really you tweeting and hanging out?
Yeah, it's a mixture of myself and my business manager. So both him and I actually manage the social media. You'll know if it's a post from me where I'm talking about my life and what's going on and stuff like that. He more so handles my promotional type of posts and reposting my blog posts and things like that. So we both kind of tag team that together. And so yeah, it is me. If you say hi, you'll get a response back.
Very cool. So when you launch your consulting business, you got to start somewhere, right? You got your lead magnet. You have maybe a low cost offering. I mean, how long did it take you to really build out this funnel? From maybe a $20 or $30 program to a $24,000 program.
Yeah, so actually the first thing that I sold were VIP one-day consulting days for $10,000 a piece. I needed cash fast, and so that's what I did. So I sold 7, maybe I sold 8 of them. So that was actually the first thing I offered. And what I did is I had a speaking opportunity in front of a small group of very successful entrepreneurs. and I did a little presentation, and I made a pitch, so I filled that. And then I had started building a list. I told you that I took some time off between the time that I was at Glazer Kennedy and the time that I started my coaching business. And so during that time, one thing that I did do was I started building an email list. So I had an email list to be able to tap into. And from there, I launched my first coaching program, which I don't have anymore. It was called Jumpstart. It was a $500 a month group coaching program for 6 months. And I did that using webinar and leading people to a strategy call sign-up page. Now, when I launch group coaching programs online, we use Google Hangouts, which is much more effective because people can see you when it's the second best thing to being live and in person. Or I use live events. So, for example, this summer, September 18th, 19th, 20th through 21st, I'm doing a live event in Silver Spring, Maryland, which is right outside of Washington, D.C., called BizCon Live. And it's a 4-day event where I share the blueprints to build a profitable and highly successful business online. But we also talk about offline strategies, too, and sales conversations, as we've talked about today. And at that event, I'll be offering entry into my mastermind and coaching program. So to be honest with you, I really took the ready, fire, aim approach to business, and I just started selling as much shit as I possibly could and fulfilling on it and helping my clients get the best results that they possibly could, and then had to go back to really start to build out these funnels and build out these sequences and build out the different ladder of the different programs that we have for our clients. Because I just wanted to make money when I first got started. And that should be your number one focus. If you're just getting started, even if you're not just getting started, your number one focus should be on generating revenue for the company. And I'm not saying don't focus on helping other people and don't focus on philanthropic activities, which a lot of companies want to do, and I think that's absolutely great. But money is what allows you the freedom and the opportunity to be able to do those things. And the truth is that when you're just getting started, you can't necessarily afford to do a lot of those things on a bigger scale in your business just yet. There's ways that you can do them, locally in your community, and you can volunteer, and those things are awesome. But your number one focus should really be generating money and revenue in your business. I didn't even have a website when I first got started. I made my first $200,000 without a website. So I would say use that approach. Just get the marketing plan in place, start building a list, start making offers to that list, start making money, and you can come back later and build those sequences, build the funnel out, create more structure in your company when you're ready to scale. That's my approach to it, to be honest.
All right. So some people listening would say, well, that was how you could do it because your dad's famous and you were working at Glazer Kennedy, so you had the whole inside scoop. I could never do a $10,000 coaching program. What would you say to them?
So I would actually say most of the people who signed up for my highest level group coaching program, which is $11,000, most of them had never even heard of Glazer Kennedy before. There was actually 4 of them who had. So that's BS. Because if everybody else signed up for that program and they had never heard of my past experience before, my father before, the work that I had done with him, if I can do that, then you can do that too. The other fact of the matter is that I didn't have any money to start up my coaching business. I started on my savings account. My father certainly didn't give me any money. I started this off my savings account. I started it with little funds. I didn't have, besides the email list I built in that process or that time I kind of was taking off, I didn't have a huge email list. My email list actually is not even big right now, and especially to industry standards. I've just got really good at sales and have been able to make big money off of a small list. And I had never owned my own business before. I had experience working with my dad, but it's very different when you go into business for yourself. So if I can do it, if a 28-year-old blonde chick from Baltimore whose teachers gave up on them in school can do it, then you can do it too. And you just need the right guidance, the right mindset, and the sales skills to be able to make it happen.
So why $10,000? I mean, I know a lot of people would say, wow, it's a lot of money. Maybe they've never even paid that themselves for coaching, but in reality, and we've learned this from your dad and Dan Kennedy, they say, always encourage you, raise your prices. They'll always say, pick a price and add a zero to it, because you're undercharging. Did you just take that to heart and say, you know what? If I get people at 10 grand, I'll just make sure to bust my hump and give them $20,000 worth of value and just kind of figure it out as you grow?
Well, I think if you're looking to hire a coach, I would more so look at the value they're going to provide you and look at the results that they're going to help you get rather than the price point. The truth of the matter
right.
is
well, but I want to kind of dig in how you set that price, right? You had never been a business owner before. You were relatively young, but you had the guts to charge what many would see as a high price. What gave you the confidence that you could deliver on a $10,000 coaching program?
Well, one, I knew the results that other clients I had worked with in the past had received, and I knew that I could replicate that and duplicate that for my clients. Okay. And two, to be honest with you, that's how much I wanted to charge. And sometimes I ask my clients that. I say, they're like, how should I price this? I say, how much do you want to make? And that's how much I wanted to make. So I charged it.
That's what I wanted to get to. Yeah, like I said, like Dan will always teach, and your dad as well. Pick a price and then add a zero to it. You're worth more than you think.
Yeah.
And and if your plate is full with clients, then raise your prices.
Yeah.
If you double your prices and half of your clients fall off, you're making the exact same money working half the time.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a win.
100%. And to be honest with you, one thing I've noticed is that the clients that pay more are usually more of a pleasure to work with anyway. Any
right.
program that I've ever done that was really inexpensive, that required my time, some of those clients weren't really my ideal clients.
Right. And you were doing more of coaching versus a done for you, right? You're not like becoming their marketing, whipping girl. You're helping them with strategy and bigger pictures versus, hey, put this widget on my WordPress website and make it quick.
Right. I help them with the strategy. If they need help with implementation, most of my coaching clients hire my virtual assistant business, my virtual assistant company, to be able to do that for them, which has really been a really great marriage. I create the strategy, and then the VA team comes in and implements.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. We had a little technical difficulty. Skype wasn't working for us, so thank goodness. Another thing I learned from your dad and from Dan is that, 1 is the loneliest number, most dangerous number. I never have just one means of anything. So we actually went through 3 different services before we could find a line that could record on. So thanks for being flexible, hopping on the call, and the quality of the recording may be a little lower, but the quality of the content has been fantastic. So I appreciate you being an open book and cutting the crap. And any parting words of wisdom for our listeners?
Yeah. Well, I'll just say actually what you just said. Just cut the crap and work on a plan that's going to lead you to profit and success. And that's going to be your winning strategy to build your business. So cut the crap and profit now is what I say.
Well, thank you very much. Mara Glazer, maraglazer.com. Listen to what she says, everyone. Go back, rewind this 3 or 37 times. You think 37 times would be enough? Or if you don't have that much time, just call her. Set your free call, and get it done.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been really fun, and I appreciate it so much.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great week.
Have a great week.
Don't mess with Mara. I love how she told that story towards the end that she picked the price of $10,000 for her coaching because that's what she wanted to get paid. I love the fact that she was very clear and focused on making the sale. Despite all of the work she's done with marketing, with follow-up sequences, with social media, with email newsletters, direct mail, she still understands the need to make the sale. Everything you're doing is driving towards the sale. Your marketing is just selling in print. So keep that in mind. If you have to bootstrap things, then bootstrap it. But as soon as you can, bring people on to help you. You know, she talked about hiring a mentor. She talks about outsourcing copywriting, bringing on people to manage social media. You know, she was brought on to help her dad do his social media. But, you know, she was not given a silver spoon. I mean, she was thrown in the deep end and said, go make it work. Figure this out. And she did. So if you're in the deep end, welcome, right? The water is warm, but there are, I don't know, little tides and some sharks here and there you have to deal with. But you can. We have all done it. So welcome aboard. Welcome off the board into the pool. It's a great place to be because only through your effort and through your struggle will you know your true limits, okay? And then you can surpass them. And then that's where the growth occurs. So go back and listen to this again. Listen to her tips on hiring social media managers. Listen to some of the tips she provided about things like Faceta and pop-up domination, some of the little nuggets that she provided there. But the main thing is study her attitude. Go look at her website. Look at her with literally, you know, her hands are on her hips, dressed nicely, smiling, but you can still tell, you know, confident, and she is cutting the crap. You know, here's what you get. You know, you don't like it? Sorry, go to the next place. But if you can afford it, come on in, and the investment will be worth it. Just like 30daysalesgrowth.com. Simple little investment. Go ahead and check that out. And if you're listening to this in late June, then the Art of the Close will have already begun. But be on the lookout for the next time we roll that out. It's theartoftheclose.guru. I am focusing more myself on sales training because I realize how few people are doing it and how many people need it. So get started with 30daysalesgrowth.com. Enter promo code podcast to save $30 on that. And then the next time I roll out the Art of the Close, make sure you are on the reminder list for that. So, and that is theartoftheclose.guru. As always, I thank you for listening. If you enjoy this, please visit thesaleswhisperer.com/love and show a little love. And other than that, remember to always sell different.